My girlfriend shouted at me saying my parents told me to leave you, but even then I am giving you a chance to fix yourself. I calmly replied, all right. Then she went on a trip with her friends. When she came back home, she was shocked by what she saw. The next day she came to my office in tears, but when she saw me standing with someone else, she started crying even more. I am David. I work as a structural engineer for a mid-sized firm in Portland. Not glamorous but stable, good benefits, decent salary, and I genuinely enjoy the problem-solving aspect of it. I have always been the quiet type, the guy who listens more than he talks, who observes before acting. My friends used to joke that I had the emotional range of a rock, but really I just did not see the point in unnecessary drama. I met Amber 3 years ago at a mutual friend's barbecue. She was magnetic, loud in the best way, always laughing, always the center of attention. I am not sure what she saw in me. Honestly, we were opposites, but somehow it worked. Or at least I thought it did. The problem started about 8 months ago, maybe longer if I am being honest with myself. Small things at first. She would make comments about my clothes. You really wore that to dinner. Or about how I spent my weekends. You are working on another project. God, you are so boring. I brushed it off. Couples bicker, right? But then it escalated. Her parents never liked me. Her dad, Richard, was some hot-shot real estate investor who thought anyone making under 6 figures was wasting oxygen. Her mom, Patricia, was quieter but somehow worse. She had this way of smiling at you while her eyes stayed cold, like she was mentally calculating your net worth and finding you lacking. Amber started parroting their opinions. Suddenly my job wasn't stable. It was unambitious. My hobbies weren't relaxing. They were antisocial, and my refusal to argue back. That wasn't patience. It was emotional unavailability. This is a form of financial and status abuse, using money or social standing to belittle a partner and erode their self-worth. The worst part was how she would do it in front of people. At dinners with friends, she would make these little digs. "Oh, David is too busy with his little side projects to go out," she would say with a laugh, and everyone would chuckle awkwardly. I would smile and change the subject, but inside something was breaking. Update 1. The ultimatum. It all came to a head on a Thursday night in late September. I remember because it was trash night, and I had just dragged the bins to the curb. When I came back inside, I found Amber standing in the living room with her arms crossed. "We need to talk," she said. I sat down on the couch. "Okay." She did not sit. She stood there towering over me and launched into it. "My parents think I should leave you," she said. I waited for her to continue. "They think you are dragging me down. They think you have no ambition, no drive. And honestly, David," she let out this bitter laugh, "I am starting to agree with them." "Okay," I said. "Okay? That is all you have to say." "What do you want me to say, Amber? I want you to fight for this. I want you to tell me you will change, that you will be better, that you will." "I do not know. Try." I looked at her for a long moment. She was shaking, either from anger or something else. Part of me wanted to ask her what exactly I was supposed to change into. A different person, someone louder, flashier, richer. But I did not. I just said, "If you want to leave, you should leave." Her eyes widened. "Are you serious right now? I am not going to beg you to stay if you do not want to be here." She stared at me like I had slapped her. Then she grabbed her purse and stormed toward the door. "You know what?" she said, spinning around. "My parents told me to leave you, but even then I am giving you a chance to fix yourself. I am going to Napa with Jenna and the girls this weekend. When I get back, I want to see some effort. I want to see that you actually care." "All right," I said. She slammed the door so hard the picture frames rattled. I did not sleep much that night, not because I was heartbroken. Honestly, I felt more relieved than anything, but because I was thinking, really thinking. I had spent 3 years walking on eggshells around Amber and her family, 3 years being told I wasn't enough. And for what? A relationship that made me feel smaller every day. The next morning I called my buddy Sam. Sam is a lawyer, sharp as hell, and has zero tolerance for bullshit. She said, "What?" he asked when I filled him in. that I need to fix myself. And what exactly is broken? That is what I have been trying to figure out. Sam was quiet for a second. Then he said, Dave, real talk, do you even want to be with her? I did not answer right away, but the silence said enough. Yeah, Sam said, that is what I thought. Listen, man, if you are done, you are done. But if she is giving you ultimatums and parading her parents' opinions around like gospel, you need to protect yourself. Protect myself? How? Document everything. Start thinking about logistics. Who owns what? Who pays for what? If this goes south, you do not want to be caught off guard. It felt cold, clinical, but Sam was right. Also, he added, take some time for yourself this weekend. Clear your head. You deserve that much. Amber left for Napa on Friday morning. She did not text me once the entire weekend. No miss you, no thinking of you, nothing. Radio silence. I spent Saturday cleaning out the apartment, not in a sad, desperate way. I just wanted to clear my head. I threw out old junk, reorganized my office space, and fixed the leaky faucet in the bathroom that had been driving me insane for months. It felt good, productive, like I was reclaiming something. I found things I had forgotten about, books I had wanted to read, a guitar I had not touched in 2 years, old photos from before Amber and I got together. I looked happier in those photos. Lighter. Sunday I went to my parents' place for dinner. My mom took one look at me and said, you look lighter, like you have been carrying something heavy and finally put it down. I shrugged. Maybe. My dad, ever the blunt one, asked, how is Amber? She is in Napa. Without you. Yep. He exchanged a look with my mom but did not push it. Instead, my mom brought out pot roast and we ate in comfortable silence. It was the first meal I had enjoyed in months without feeling like I needed to perform or justify my existence. After dinner, my dad and I sat on the porch with beers. You know, he said, your mother and I always liked Amber. She is charming, fun, but charm is not everything. We have noticed you have been different lately. Quieter, not in your usual way. In a tired way. Yeah, I said, I have been thinking about that. Good, he said, taking a sip of his beer. A man has got to know when to hold em and when to fold em. Classic dad, always with the Kenny Rogers wisdom. If you think I was right to use the weekend to clear my head instead of chasing her, hit the subscribe button. We talk about self-worth and boundaries here on Story Sparks. Update 2. The return. Amber came back Monday evening. I was at the apartment when I heard her key in the lock. She walked in, suitcase in tow, and froze. The living room was spotless. The kitchen was organized. I had even bought fresh flowers for the table. Not for her. Just because I thought they looked nice. What? What is this? She asked, looking around like she had walked into the wrong apartment. I cleaned, I said. I can see that. She set her suitcase down and walked through the space, slowly taking it all in. Her face was unreadable. She ran her fingers along the kitchen counter, opened the fridge and saw I had organized everything, even looked into my office and saw the reorganized workspace. David, she said finally, this is exactly what I am talking about. You can do this, but you never do unless I push you. I did not do it for you, I said. Her head snapped toward me. What? I did it because I wanted to, because it made me feel good. She blinked. So now you are trying to make some kind of point. I am not trying to make any point, Amber. I am just saying I do not think we work anymore. Her mouth opened, then closed, then opened again. Are you breaking up with me? I think we have been broken up for a while, I said quietly. We just did not want to admit it. You are not serious, she said, her voice rising. This is because I went away, because I wanted you to step up. No. I said it is because I realized that no matter what I do, it will never be enough. Not for you, and definitely not for your parents. My parents have nothing to do with this, Amber. You literally started this conversation by telling me your parents think you should leave me. She faltered. That was just. I was upset. You are always upset, and I am always the problem. That is not fair, is it? I asked. When is the last time you said something nice about me? When is the last time you made me feel like you actually liked who I am? She looked stunned, like she had never considered the question. I thought so, I said. She did not take it well. You are not serious, she said again, as if saying it enough times would make it untrue. You are really doing this. After I gave you a chance. You gave me a chance to change into someone I am not. That is not a chance. That is a condition. This is the difference between a boundary, what I will accept, and an ultimatum, what you must do or else. Amber gave me an ultimatum. I set a boundary. Oh my God. She laughed, but it was not a happy sound. You are unbelievable. You are going to regret this, David. You are going to wake up one day and realize you threw away the best thing that ever happened to you. Maybe, I said. But I do not think so. Her face went red. You will never find anyone like me. I hope not, I said quietly. That stopped her cold. For a moment she just stared at me and I saw something break behind her eyes. Then she grabbed her suitcase, threw some clothes into it and left. This time there was no door slam, just a quiet click. I sat on the couch for a long time after she left, staring at the ceiling. I felt nothing. Or maybe I felt everything, but it was all so muted that it did not register. Relief, sadness, guilt, freedom, it all blurred together. The next morning I went to work like normal. My boss Corinne called me into her office around 9 a.m. David, I wanted to check in. You seem distracted lately. Everything okay? I appreciated that about Corinne. She did not pry, but she cared. Just dealing with some personal stuff, I said, but I am handling it. Take your time, she said. And if you need anything, let me know. Also, great work on the West Side project. The client loved your revisions. Thanks, Corinne. That felt good. Recognition for actual work, not for who I was dating or how much money I made. Around 10 a.m. my phone started buzzing. Texts from Amber's friends, Jenna mostly, asking what happened, telling me I was an idiot, saying Amber was devastated. One text from Jenna read, "You really broke her heart. She has been crying all night. How could you be so cruel?" I did not respond. What was I supposed to say? That I had been breaking for months and no one noticed. Then around noon the office receptionist called my extension. "David, there is someone here to see you." "Who?" "She says her name is Amber. She is pretty upset." My stomach dropped. "Tell her I will be down in a minute." I took the stairs instead of the elevator, trying to brace myself. When I got to the lobby I saw her. She was crying. Mascara streaked down her face and she looked genuinely broken. "David," she said when she saw me, "please can we just talk? Amber, you cannot just show up at my work. I know, I am sorry, I just—" She wiped her eyes. "I did not mean what I said. I was angry. I love you. I do not want this to be over." People in the lobby were starting to stare. The receptionist looked uncomfortable. "Amber, we need to do this somewhere else." "No, I am not leaving until you listen to me." Her voice was getting louder. "I have been thinking all night. I can change. I won't listen to my parents anymore. I will support your career. I will be better." "Amber, stop. I just need you to give me another chance. Please, David, please." I was about to respond when I heard footsteps behind me. "David." I turned. It was Brooke, a colleague from the design team. We had been working on a project together for the past few weeks. Late nights. Lots of coffee, lots of brainstorming. She was brilliant, funny, and we had become friends, good friends. "Hey," I said. "What is up?" Brooke looked between me and Amber, clearly picking up on the tension. "I just wanted to confirm we are still on for the site visit this afternoon," she said. "Yeah, absolutely. 2 o'clock, right?" "Right," Brooke said. She glanced at Amber again, concern in her eyes. "You okay?" "I am fine," I said. "Just give me a few minutes." Brooke nodded and walked back toward the elevators. Amber's eyes locked onto Brooke, then back to me. Her face went from devastated to furious in about 2 seconds. "Who is she?" Amber demanded. "She is a coworker. Is this why you broke up with me? Because of her?" Amber, "No." "Oh my God," she said, backing away. "You are already moving on. You are unbelievable. How long has this been going on? Were you cheating on me?" "That is not what is happening," I said firmly. "She is a colleague. We work together. That is it." Amber spat. "I saw the way she looked at you. I saw the way you looked at her. You need to leave," I said. "Now." She looked at me like I had stabbed her, then turned and walked out, still crying. I stood there for a moment, feeling everyone's eyes on me, then went back upstairs. Brooke was waiting by my desk. Yikes, she said. Ex-girlfriend, something like that. Want to talk about it? Not really. Fair enough, she said. Coffee? Yeah. Coffee sounds good. Update 3. The limbo. Over the next week, Amber called and texted nonstop. Apologies, accusations, promises to change, threats to tell everyone the truth. I blocked her number after the 5th voicemail, which was a rambling, tearful mess about how I had ruined her life and stolen her best years. Her friends kept reaching out too. Jenna sent me a long message saying I was cold and heartless for moving on so fast, that I never really loved Amber, that I was a coward for not fighting for the relationship. I did not bother correcting them. Let them think what they wanted. What they did not know, what no one knew except Sam and my parents, was that I wasn't moving on. I was just existing, going to work, coming home, trying to figure out who I was outside of that relationship. Then about 10 days after the breakup, I got a call from my landlord. Hey David, just wanted to give you a heads up. Amber came by asking for her stuff. I told her she needed to coordinate with you directly, but she seemed pretty insistent. Almost tried to use the spare key I keep in the office. Did you let her? Hell no. But I wanted you to know. Thanks for letting me know, I said. I will handle it. I boxed up her things that evening. Clothes, toiletries, a few books, some jewelry she had left behind, and texted her from a new number that she could pick them up Saturday morning at 10 a.m. She did not respond, but she showed up right on time. When I opened the door, she looked different, calmer maybe, or just tired. Her eyes were puffy like she hadn't been sleeping well. Hey, she said. Hey. She took the boxes without a word, loaded them into her car, a process that took 2 trips, and then stood there for a moment like she was trying to decide whether to say something. I am sorry, she said finally, for everything. I shouldn't have pushed you to be someone you are not. I shouldn't have brought my parents into it. I shouldn't have shown up at your work. Yeah, I said, you shouldn't have. She nodded, looking down at her shoes. For what it is worth, I did love you. I think I got caught up in what they wanted for me, what I thought I was supposed to want. I know, I said. And I did. Part of me felt bad for her, but the bigger part of me knew this was necessary. She got in her car and drove away. I watched until she turned the corner, then went back inside and closed the door. I spent the next few weeks in a strange limbo. Work was good. The West Side project wrapped up successfully, and Karen assigned me to a new hospital renovation that was challenging but exciting. I started going to the gym again, something I had stopped doing because Amber thought gym guys were meatheads and did not want me changing. Brooke and I continued working together. She was dating someone, so there was no weirdness between us, just genuine friendship. We would grab lunch, sometimes talk about work, about life. She was easy to be around. No pressure, no judgment. Then about a month after the breakup, Sam called me. Hey man, what are you doing tonight? Nothing. What? Come to Murphy is with us. Me, Kevin, and Daniel are meeting up around 8. I do not know Sam, do not give me that. You have been hermiting for a month. Come out, have a beer, be a human. I laughed. Fine. 8 o'clock. The climax. The climax came that night. I was at Murphy is with Sam and the guys, just unwinding after a long week, nursing a beer and actually enjoying myself. When Amber walked in, she wasn't alone. She was with some guy, tall, good-looking, dressed like he just stepped out of a yacht club catalog, polo shirt, expensive watch, the works. Our eyes met across the room. I saw her freeze, saw her whisper something to the guy, then she walked over. David, she said, her voice tight. Can we talk outside? Sam looked at me, eyebrows raised. I sighed, excused myself, and followed her out. What do you want, Amber? I wanted you to know I am seeing someone, okay? She looked at me like she was waiting for a reaction. When I did not give her one, she kept going. His name is Brendan. He is a financial analyst. He is successful, ambitious. Everything you weren't. Good for you, I said. That is it. That is all you have to say. What do you want me to say? Congratulations. Her face crumpled. I thought you would care. I thought you would feel something. I did feel something, Amber. I felt it for 3 years and it wasn't enough for you. I loved you, she said. And now she was crying again. I really did. I know, I said, but love is not enough if it comes with conditions. If every day I have to prove I am worth your time, if I have to change who I am to fit some checklist your parents made, that is not love. That is a negotiation. She wiped her eyes. He doesn't make me laugh like you did. We do not have the same connection. Then why are you with him? Because he is what I am supposed to want, she said, almost shouting. Do not you get it? He checks all the boxes. My parents love him. He has the right job, the right pedigree, the right everything. And how does that feel? I asked. She did not answer. She just stood there crying while Brendan came outside looking confused. Babe, everything okay? He asked. Yeah, she said, not looking at me. Let us go. They left together, his arm around her shoulders, and she looked back once before getting into his car. I went back inside. You good? Sam asked. Yeah, I said, I am good. And I was. Final update, the piece. It has been 6 months now. Amber and Brendan did not last. I heard through mutual friends that they broke up after 3 months. Something about him being too controlling and her realizing she jumped into it too fast. Shocker. She tried reaching out to me a few times after that. First through text from yet another new number, then through mutual friends. Finally, through a handwritten letter that showed up at my apartment. The letter was long, emotional, full of apologies and what-ifs. I read it once, then put it in a drawer. Not because I hated her, but because there was nothing left to say. As for me, I am doing fine. Better than fine, actually. I got promoted at work in April. Senior structural engineer with a nice bump in pay and more creative control on projects. Karen said I had been coming into my own these past few months, and she wasn't wrong. I picked up woodworking as a hobby. Built a bookshelf, a coffee table, a bench for my parents' porch. My dad jokes that I am becoming him, and honestly I am okay with that. And Brooke, well, she broke up with her boyfriend in March. We started hanging out more. Not intentionally, just naturally. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into dinner. Dinner turned into weekend hikes. One night in early May, after a particularly beautiful sunset hike, she kissed me. It was easy, uncomplicated, right. We have been together officially for about a month now. My parents love her. My mom actually said, thank God you came to your senses. Brooke laughs at my jokes, supports my hobbies, and doesn't make me feel like I am auditioning for the role of boyfriend every day. Life is quieter now. Simpler. I do not have to prove anything to anyone. I just exist, and it is enough. Last week I ran into Jenna at the grocery store. She looked uncomfortable when she saw me. Hey David. Hey Jenna, look, I owe you an apology. I said some harsh things when you and Amber broke up. I did not know the full story. It is fine, I said. It is not, though. Amber has been talking to me a lot lately. She is in therapy now, working through some stuff. She told me she wasn't fair to you. I am glad she is getting help, I said. And I meant it. She misses you, you know, I know, but some things are not meant to be fixed. Jenna nodded. You seem happy. I am, and I was. I think about Amber sometimes. Not in a longing way, more in a reflective one. I wonder if she has figured out yet that chasing what other people want for you is a recipe for misery. I hope she has. I hope she finds someone who makes her happy for the right reasons. Someone who doesn't have to change who they are to be enough. But mostly I do not think about her at all. I think about the present, about the project I am working on, the date Brooke and I have planned for Saturday, the bookshelf I am building for my office. I think about the fact that I am happy, genuinely happy for the first time in years. That is enough. Edit 1. A few people asked if I regret not fighting harder for the relationship. Honestly, no. I spent 3 years fighting, just not in the way Amber wanted. I fought to keep my sanity, my sense of self, my dignity. That was enough. Fighting for a relationship that makes you feel smaller every day isn't noble. It is self-destruction. Edit 2. For anyone wondering, yes, my parents love Brooke. My dad said she has got her head on straight, which is high praise from him. My mom keeps hinting about grandkids, which is mortifying but also kind of sweet. Edit 3. To the people saying I moved on too fast, Brooke and I did not start dating until 2 months after the breakup, and even then it was slow and natural. But even if we had, I do not owe my timeline to anyone, least of all Amber. I spent 3 years in a relationship that drained me. I am not about to spend my freedom apologizing for finding happiness. Thanks for watching.